was embarrassed after having a seizure. Yesterday was the first time I had a seizure in front of a non-family member. It was in front of a friend. It was so incredibly embarrassing, and it happened while I was awake. Normally, I only have seizures in my sleep, but I think I was not, I was just so exhausted and didn't take any medication early enough. Thankfully, it was my safe medication and just two of us. Should that mean like rescue medication? Thankfully, it was my safe medication.
Probably
Yeah,
the
probably.
Just
rescue
two of
med,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Safety
remember
med.
talking and then slowly started to fade out of consciousness. And then the seizure started. I remember seeing my hands start to shake and then blacked out. I spilled my drink over my lap in the car, in their car. From what I know, they did a good job caring for me afterwards when it was happening. I'm very thankful. After it was over, I remember being in and out of consciousness, just kind of opening my eyes and feeling like I was falling back asleep. This waking up and falling back asleep felt like it was happening for a while, but it probably wasn't very long. I would open my eyes and they were still sitting there next to me and just watching over me. When I finally able to stay awake, I asked them if I had a seizure, and they said yeah. And then felt horrible, embarrassed, and disgusted with myself in a way. They told me it was scary, which makes sense, and then let me know what had happened and what they did. They didn't make me feel bad about it at all, but it just makes me feel so vulnerable, and it scared me a little bit that it happened while I was awake. I just need someone to talk to in case I know this can be very traumatic for someone to see it.
I hope they got the
I'm
support they
here.
needed from that post. I hope.
3 days ago,
How many comments?
uh, one,
Mm.
10 likes, but one
10
comment.
likes, one comment. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
No, I mean, just know the fact that your friend was there to support you and help you afterwards, I think just shows that you shouldn't feel embarrassed about it. I mean, clearly they understood, and I'm
It's
sorry that
hard.
happened. That's, yeah.
It's hard. When I was younger, definitely felt embarrassed about seizures in public, even with starting dating new partners, and it's like embarrassing because you haven't told them yet, and it's hard.
I
I
lead with
can't.
epilepsy when it comes to dating. Start there.
Well, the one I can remember last was the one that became my wife. And that's not going so good, but
I mean, I can't tell you how many women probably think I'm so messed up because I thought I was having panic attacks like the entire time I was with them and stuff, but I was really having seizures and had no idea. It's like the last girl I was dating, I was having auras and stuff, and when I met her, I stopped having auras for like a month and then started having them again. But it was I don't know. I would tell them I'm having a panic attack or something like that, and they probably thought they were doing something wrong or probably thought, I don't know, I was effed up in the head. And I was, but at the same time, they knew I have epilepsy. It would have been a lot simpler to tell them I was having a seizure than
right.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's a little more understanding
It's
to
a lot
say, oh,
easier
I just had a
to,
seizure than I just had a panic attack.
right. For sure.
So the only comment said, to be honest, I understand the embarrassment part. I've been mortified after each seizure in front of my immediate family, especially if I peed myself or fell on an object, like a lamp. I've tried to tell myself it's a medical condition that I can't control, and unless people around you are complete assholes, the shock eventually subsides and instincts kick in to keep you from hitting your head, at least. Getting no instincts to tell me don't hit my head. As medical advice, I recommend scheduling with your neurologist since this wasn't a normal seizure for you.
Yeah.
Stay
Talk
well.
with talk with the therapist as well. I mean, if like,
Yeah.
I know it is traumatic and I know you feel that embarrassment, but you shouldn't. And again, it's something that like, yeah, unless everyone is a complete asshole, like no one's gonna think poorly about you and people's instincts are gonna kick
Yeah.
in. Like chances are every single person is gonna see someone in their life have a seizure.
Right.
And
There's people I never knew that just have pure empathy and
mhm.
they want to know like what they can do to help or like for the next time.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anxiety, go see a therapist, go talk about it, and go try to work past it because you shouldn't feel embarrassed for having your seizures in public or around family members, especially. You should only feel support.
Yeah. It's true. But I feel embarrassment all the time.
No, I understand
I
that.
feel
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm
it
there
comes
too.
with the territory, but
It's
you know,
hard to tell someone that, and that's
It
how
I
is.
I
know.
feel.
Yeah. I mean, we can all say, don't be embarrassed, but
But
we
I
yeah,
all feel
I
embarrassed,
see a
so
therapist
whatever.
and I talk about it. I talk about it.
Yep.
yeah.
That's the best you can say is, talk about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I got my friends and they love me to death, and I
And
still apologize to my cousin all the
Mhm.
time. Every time he has to drive me somewhere and stuff, you know.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, you're the burden.
Right.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not saying
Sad.
you're a burden. Like that's how I feel. I'm
Yeah,
the
we are.
burden.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
yeah.
Because we're all like that. We're all like, we're the burden now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, are
And
we.
I
Okay,
wanted
he's
to
since
get
you
a
used to it because he has an autistic kid.
oh,
Mm,
I wanted to get my mom a Mother's Day gift, and I literally had to ask my coworker. I was like, "Hey, is there a reason you want to go to the mall by chance? And could I tag along with you?"
right.
And it's like I have to ask him to give me a ride to the mall, even if he does. It's just so embarrassing, but it's
We
either that or
understand.
bus 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Um,
okay, look at this. Someone says, "Is it just me? Antidepressants actually make me depressed." Diagnosed with TLE at age 40, 4 years ago, and ADHD, mainly inattentive, about 1.5 years ago. Over the years, I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, but every single time I've taken antidepressant, it makes me actually depressed. Whereas before, I was just overwhelmed and sad about life events. When I take antidepressants, it is only time I actually contemplate suicide. Like, yeah, when I am having health flare ups, I will think life would be better for everyone else if this would just take me out now, all quick. But I don't actually think of ways to harm myself or constantly wish it would happen. When I'm on the meds, I actually start thinking of how I would just get to do it and get over it already. I have
Like,
some
Sounds
anger
like a hotline
issues.
call.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's bad. But I honestly,
nine
that's
eight
why I went
eight.
off the first one that I went on because it didn't work. It made things so much worse. I felt crazy. So I can understand, but if you feel in that way, you should probably talk to your doctor about changing the med then.
And life would not be easier
No,
without you.
no,
How I
certainly.
can't begin to express how much sorrow and sadness it would cause to your family, to so many people, to
Yeah,
their lives. It seriously, it would not be better.
no.
Don't think that.
That's why I keep trying to spin it to like when we have to have these discussions as a family, I just try to spin it as like the most selfish thing you could do.
Right.
It,
Even if you're
yeah.
feeling, like it's just not worth it or nobody, whatever the reason or the logic is behind it, it would still be the most selfish thing you could do. So never
And
use like making it better for everybody else as an excuse because even if you think you're not cared about, it's still it's not the right way. It's just never going to be the best way.
and
Someone
even if
cares.
we're not de
Exactly.
even if we're not depressed, we're in the same situation where we're trying medicine after medicine to fix something that ultimately we could probably most likely live for the most part without. And that's the same thing with SSRIs. Like if it's not working for you, try something new.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with depression as well during high school, and I started taking SSRIs. I stopped taking them pretty quickly because I was like, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to try other ways. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to do other things. It took effort for sure, but I haven't taken SSRIs since. I've found motivation in life.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I mean,
everything that like all of you
don't
guys
give
have
up.
been through, it just seems like prepared you almost, like made you stronger for these life
For what's
events.
a,
For
what was
real.
gonna
Yeah,
happen?
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
How much
actually
worse can it
finished with
get?
that.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
During the
Sorry.
end of my marriage, like I would say, I wouldn't say the end of the marriage, but it was like getting there. It's like I knew I was getting depressed, and I already went through that suicidal route. Me and her weren't connected. Me and her weren't, um, how do you say,
Compatible.
we weren't talking as much
Okay.
or anything. Like, I even remember one time saying we're just two people with a kid together, you know?
Hmm.
Like, that's how far it's gotten. And I even said maybe we need marriage counseling, and she didn't want to do that.
Yeah. What are you gonna do then?
And
Yeah, not much more.
it just came to the point where I did get back, like, I did get on Lexapro
Hmm.
again.
You said you're on that now, right?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on Lexapro. It just got reduced in February. Um,
Right. Yeah.
and I know at one point, it was just like the depression was so high that I felt a total lack of emotion to everything. Like I
You're just a
like
blank mask.
other than my daughter or my I would say other than the kids or anything, because it was my son to well, her son, but
Hmm.
I call him my son.
Right.
Um it was like other than the kids, there was no joy in our marriage, and it was just like
No.
it was completely like lack of emotion. I
Mm-hmm.
could not even cry if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's kind of
I'm
when you feel
sorry.
like in that zombie state. I just compare it to like stages of grief almost. Like I know our marriage is dead now, so that's
You're going
just
through the
how you
stage.
feel at that point. And then, the next week you remember you have something to live for. But, wasn't
Yeah,
wasn't my life like wasn't I on top of the world when we actually got married, or
Hmm.
was like
yeah,
were the marriage vows just like my last, thinking out this is how we were going to solve our problems? Like
Yeah.
I don't even remember the past clear enough to
it's
reminisce
just,
over anything. So it's like that
No.
I know that apathetic kind of like why should I give a fuck kind of vibe.
it's
Yeah.
I
Pookie,
just knew
isn't
I still had to be here for my daughter and stuff. Like she's going to be 4 next month. You know,
There you go.
yeah.
Yep.
my son, my stepson, he's 16, and this kid never played sports. His parents couldn't get him into sports. I'm the one that got him into sports, and stuff. And he's like a straight up genius, or I wouldn't say genius, natural
Mm-hmm.
when it came to football, because he didn't start playing football until he got into the ninth grade. And already he's like, he wanted to play defensive lineman. They got him playing on the offensive line, and he's already on the, like, I think last year, well, before me and his mom separated, he's already like second in rotation. And basically this next year, 11th grade year, he's going to be the starter for the varsity team.
Right.
Wow.
You
Impressive.
know?
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Congratulations to
He's
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
I'm
know if I
scared
ever
Spooky.
for
saw
him.
like any tackling though, I would like run on the field. I would be so deathly afraid of contact sports for my children.
I know.
I'm
My son
scared
played
for him
football and
because
it
I
was
know what football can do.
stressful.
I know what football can do. I love
Oh,
watching football, but I know what football
Oh,
injuries can
yeah.
do to the head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pookie, finish the
Yeah.
post.
What was the rest of the question?
yeah. Got sidetracked.
We do that because I have some anger issues that I've been working on. At my last doctor's appointment, they suggested Depakote to help as a mood stabilizer. Wow, I can't even. At first, I thought it was working because it felt like the anger was dampened, but it also killed my will to fight. Before, before if an argument occurred and I knew I was right, it was worth it to argue, in my opinion. I would keep it up. Now it is just sure, whatever. You're probably right. Not a big deal. But it has also brought the sad emotions to my effing brim, where I simply can't feel sad and lonely. Well, there's quotes everywhere. I cannot feel sad and lonely. Quote, I have no real friends besides my husband because of my health issues, and I have severe anxiety doing things on my own, making it difficult to just get out there and try new things. So while my passions are muted, all the bad stuff that normally wouldn't bother me so much just been sitting on me hard these past few weeks, and I have decided to stop taking it and see if it helps. Does anyone else feel gaslit into believing you must be depressed because everyone is telling you you are, or so you must be?
Yes.
The thing
Yes.
is, oh,
Sorry, just before you even finish anything, yes, people, I have felt so gaslit in my life before. People
hold
telling
on,
me
hold
I'm
on, hold
depressed.
on
Okay,
one second.
finish. Okay, yep.
It's like two sentences left, and they're
Yep,
both
sorry.
questions. So I was like, before you start, let me get these questions
Okay,
out of the way.
okay.
She said, hold on, does anyone else feel gaslit believing you must be depressed because everyone else is telling you are, or so you must be? But then things that are supposed to be help depressed people actually makes you feel depressed. Like everyone else has been telling me, you must be, has been telling you, you must be feeling that feeling before the meds. Does any of that even make sense? Um,
So, yes, 100%. Something I dealt with a lot through high school was through high school and college. I like video games. I love video games. I like watching movies, TV shows. Just because I sit down on my chair and play video games for 6 hours does not mean I'm depressed. Just because other people might think I'm depressed because I'm doing that does
Yeah.
not mean I'm depressed. Just because my mom might think I need to talk to a therapist or I don't have any friends, I'm talking to people online. I'm talking to whatever. No, you can absolutely be gaslit. And yes, yes,
I play
antidepressants can
JRPG just because I
absolutely,
like the story.
exactly. But antidepressants can absolutely make you feel worse. 100%. And
Hmm.
that's I think it comes from epileptics more than anything. There's so many different drugs out there. If it's not working for you, try something else. But another thing is, do not just stopping your medication without telling people. Make sure people are aware and you have the support, your doctor is aware that my mom just lowered her medication from when she was taking Prozac. And within a week, me and my brothers found her suicide note on her bed. And
Yeah, that
it
was the one
is,
that didn't work for me, was Prozac.
yeah, and it's something she's used her entire life and she loves it. She says she'll never stop taking it now. But again, do not just start taking your meds out of nowhere because
Right.
yeah, it will fuck you up.
Zoloft was the one that didn't work for me.
Hmm. Yep. I mean, there's
Yeah,
so
that
many different
gaslighting
kinds.
thing. I mean, it's a shame. It's a lot of children who, like you said, there's gamers out there, legit. Like, but you might still do voice chats. Like, you're not isolating yourself in any sense. But it seems like some people who just don't understand that or don't even try to talk to their child about that
Hmm.
would read an article off of Google or something and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, my child must be suicidal," or that's why I was like, honestly, now looking back, I'm grateful for quarantine and not pandemic, but I'm grateful for quarantine because that got us like back together.
I
I would not see her for like 10 hours a day, and that's just that's not a way to raise a child in today's society anyway.
Yeah.
I also gaslit myself into thinking I was depressed because I was playing video games all day and stuff like that. Like I'd come home from school and I would
I've
want to play
done
video
that.
games. And it's just because I'm burnt out. Like you can be burnt out. It's
Oh yeah.
okay to be burnt out.
Yeah.
Like we spend our entire childhoods going to school, seeing our
Oh,
teachers more than we see our parents. Like
Yeah.
you can get burnt out so easily, but it doesn't mean you're a burnout, and it doesn't mean like you're depressed or any worse off than anyone else.
No.
It just take some time for yourself, and it's okay to take a weekend and just veg out. It doesn't mean you're depressed. It just means you need some time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen
Now,
to
if
your
you're doing
body.
that,
And
You
yeah,
need
if
a
you're doing
nap.
that every week, sure, maybe go see a doctor. But like, no, you can do that.
playing video games is okay.
Yeah,
All my kids do it, and they're all fine. And my oldest son is developing a video game already with his
that's
friends.
awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, and he's not even graduated from college yet. So,
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing wrong with computers or video games. In fact, it gives you a
Mm.
head, little,
Yeah,
step
especially
up,
when you start making money with it.
Oh
considering where
Talk
yeah.
we're
about a killer
heading.
side hustle in college.
Right, where
Yeah.
we're heading in
Yeah.
society, it makes sense to let your kids learn to use a computer.
Yeah.
See, but I will
I,
say that's one of the
I
saddest
got a
things about
boomer mom.
society. I,
So
I I was just gonna say one of the saddest things about society is the fact that you have to monetize all of your hobbies now. I feel like that's one of the biggest thing is like your kids love video games, computers and stuff like that, and it's gonna suck if they end up having to or feeling like they need to monetize those hobbies and lose interest in them because that's
Yeah, well, no,
something
he
like
just did it because he loves it. He's already
yeah,
developed one video game for, one
beautiful.
of those things where it's like a 2 day thing.
Hmm.
They have 2 days to develop a game. What do they call that?
Yeah, like a hackathon, like
Yeah, it's kind of, but
yeah,
there's the name for it. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah. Oh, Flash. It's a Flash
okay,
gaming
flash game.
competition where they,
Yep.
everybody competes to do that, and he still loves it. It's fine. And my daughters, unbelievably, are computer artists. So,
See, I
but
used
yeah,
to
it's
I
yeah,
used
expensive.
I was good with technical stuff.
I did jobs for people during college coding, and it's something I honestly kind of regret now because looking at code is miserable to me. It's just like I enjoyed it so much. I used to go like IT tech camps when I was younger and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
learning how to develop video games, loving it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spent 2 years just developing crappy little games for people to make money during college, and it just pissed me off. I was like, wow, how dare, like, in order for me not to go bankrupt, I had to monetize my hobby. And I watched a bunch of my friends do that. I watched like
Uh,
graphic designers
I'm
have to,
sorry.
I would never
no,
monetize my
no, it's
hobby.
not.
Oh,
And that's
hold
where
on
I
one
was like,
second.
okay, business economics. I'm gonna fix our capitalist shithole society. Like
Yeah,
make it so.
I would never monetize my hobby because I want my hobby to stay relaxing me.
That's why I stopped doing physics in college, is because I it started feeling like a job, and I love physics as a hobby. It's such a, it's the closest thing you can
But
get to magic. It's
but
amazing.
I have a boomer mom, and she's just like not understanding. Like the world doesn't work the same way as it did back then.
It's evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't really barter for things much anymore.
Mm-mm.
Not in America. You go to
No.
like Italy and you can barter. I'll show you some shoes I got from Italy. They were like 80 pounds and or 80 euro. And I got them
Oh,
down to
okay.
like 20 euro.
What?
I was like, I literally just told the guy, I was like, all I have is 20. And he's like, all right, 20 20 fine.
Wow.
Nice.
They must have only cost him like 5 euro, but like seriously, I
Wow.
love the bartering system out there.
That's cool.
So,
Like if it wasn't for my daughter, I would probably try. Like I would take my mom and say, "Let's move out somewhere."
Thailand. We'll go Thailand.
Well,
Pookie, what you got for us?
that's why we moved to get
so
further away from
I
the.
got something that says dry, itchy throat from medication. I have been taking 600 milligrams of oxycarbazine
Yep.
Mhm.
for right at a month now. I have no seasonal allergies, really, and do not currently have a cold, etc. I've noticed over the last week or more that my throat feels slightly irritated all the time, like kind of dry, itchy, no phlegm or anything. Could this be a side effect of the medication? Will I have to feel this for the rest of my life?
Oh, no,
Stay
no.
hydrated, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Second
answer
of
to that
all,
last question is always no.
Yeah,
second
exactly.
of all, I don't know what I was on, but your neurologist or hepatologist should have told you this, that you're going to have dry mouth or whatever
Mm-hmm.
when you were getting onto these meds.
Right.
Because I know my doctor did, my neurologist did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
I mean, there's so many
He
possible
didn't tell
side
me about
effects
the
to these
dry mouth.
medications, but it's just too often that neurologist, like the doctor, doesn't even make an effort of telling you.
No.
I
I
know
always have to
there's
beg
HIPAA and everything,
for the
but
side effects before I even agree to take it.
So you expect me to know this?
Still do the research.
yeah.
Like, still do the research on it.
Yeah, still do.
Yeah,
For real.
yeah.
And if you got other problems, other health problems that don't relate to your epilepsy,
Mm-hmm.
still do the research because you don't know how it might affect that.
Yeah.
And just because your doctor's supposed to know about it and care doesn't mean they do.
Oh, I was mentioning earlier, I'm getting a new MRI actually with
Yeah.
my doctor. Yeah, he told me the one that he got is a little fuzzy and he doesn't really like, he doesn't think he can see everything enough and he wants to do one focused on epilepsy spots.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just super excited. Hopefully they'll shine a little more light or give me possibly a clue there on where to point. But I have a Ranky left cyst in my brain at a stem, and it doesn't
Right.
really do much, but it apparently pushes on your pituitary gland. And I asked him about that at the doctor's office, and he mentioned that he'll take a peek at that during the MRI. But
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's
we'll see.
Yeah, they
encouraging.
should definitely look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah, excited.
I'm glad they're gonna go ahead and do another
I
scan.
know it's like, whoa, you're actually taking a proactive stance. What? Thank you.
Right?
Amazing,
You're
right?
For
holding that to a
once.
higher standard?
Holy cow. Do they ever? My goodness. That's great.
Yeah,
Let's hope they learn something. Or at least pass it on to another specialist to look at if they
right.
can't see anything.
And actually tell
Yeah,
you what they need, what you need to know, what you have a right to know when they find out.
That's
yeah,
exactly right.
just anything, even
Not
if
like
like
wait for the claim to process or something.
Yeah,
I would
I
love for
had a
them to just go
neurologist
through it
refer
and
me
tell
to another neurologist. I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
they just want the referral bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Just go, let me go through it though, and just show me that nothing's wrong. Like point to the spots and be like, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal. Even if not, you don't even see anything. Just give me the peace of mind that like what I'm looking at is normal.
Right.
But I don't even know
Ultrasound
what.
techs are so proud to do that.
Oh, we can see it.
Yeah. All they ever told me is, we know it's coming from here, but we don't know why. And until that one specialist that's like, oh, yeah, and looks at the same exact scan and goes, oh, this was that. Oh, okay.
The world's best computer is the human brain.
Yeah, wow. Well, I hope
I
they
mean,
get something if they don't pass it on to the next person to let them look at it until they do. Because there's probably something there. I mean,
Right.
wouldn't be having problems if there wasn't, right?
Hmm.
Someone says, I'm defeated. I don't know what to do. I've been on Briviac since 2017. I love the medication. It gave me my life back. Unfortunately, I had to relocate to a different state, losing my health insurance through my job. I currently have insurance, but it doesn't cover it. I have 8 days left of my medication and then I'm out. My doctor sent me a prescription, but it's way too expensive, almost $2,000. I'm thinking about stopping it once I'm out. I'm so tired of being epileptic.
God.
yeah.
Anybody
Yeah,
got
Yeah,
anything to
maybe that was
say?
why I was off the Briviac so quick.
Well, that was
I
That
three
was
mean,
days ago, so I
2017,
guess he has
yeah.
5 days left.
all I can say is I think it would be incredibly irresponsible for your doctor to allow this to happen. And so
Yeah.
tell him you cannot financially afford this medication, and tell him he needs to figure out a new plan, like something,
Right.
a plan that can work. Because I mean, don't think it's all over just because of this. But yeah, I mean, your doctor, it's irresponsible if he allows you to or just provides that prescription and expects things to be okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they can never let you go cold turkey.
Yeah.
Like they can't let
yeah,
you just stop one of those. And I don't remember if Briviact was one of those extended release ones, but I know now
yeah.
that I think back, that was the same year that I got that I couldn't be on my parents' insurance anymore. So that probably is one of those like wicked expensive ones, or one of those that like you have to take the brand name, the generic doesn't do the same.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
tried, and I mean, I'm not entirely certain why, but he
I was on
maybe
Broviac.
because he is worried about that. He did once tell me I had the meanest insurance in the world, so.
well, it feels that way.
What's
I
your
think I
insurance, if you
was
don't mind
on
me asking?
Broviac till last November, October, and I had to choose between that or Vintat because I was just getting like I felt like I was just getting tranquilized by all the sleep.
Yeah.
And I couldn't choose. I had to like look at the symptoms really good.
Mhm.
And I chose to get off the Briviac.
Mhm.
Um,
How's
it's
that going?
still a good medicine, but once I got off the Briviac, it felt a little lighter. Like I could definitely focus more. The brain fog went away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm not trying to scare people, like
Mm.
it is a good medicine, but like
Well,
I felt
maybe you'll find success
Vimpat was
moving.
helping me better.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing is they never know how a medication is gonna do until they give it to you.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, I haven't yeah. Forget why he said I had the meanest insurance. It's Partnership of California.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I work in insurance.
I didn't even think they were that bad, but I guess they didn't want to do another in-hospital EEG, I think was what it was, because I had one when I first got diagnosed. Well, not first, but like 6 months after I first got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do another one, but he was really, really insistent on it. But he
I
had to
got them.
fight with them and fight with them. And he said, "You have the meanest insurance in the world. You know that." And I was like, I did not know that, but thank you. Okay, good to know.
So many people end up in collections and they didn't even know that they were going to be charged for it because contracts will be canceled and prices are, changed, and the patients are never informed until a claim is processed and denied.
Hmm.
I mean, when you have nurses at the hospital telling me ways to cheat the system, you
Yeah.
know our healthcare system's
Yeah.
fucked up. Like
Yep.
they're
Yeah.
literally telling me step by step, like you're gonna get a letter, call the number here, ask them how long you can defer the payments for,
Mhm.
figure that out, tell them you can only pay the $50 a week and they have to accept it. It's
Mhm.
not going to affect your credit. And they're
Mhm.
just like giving me step by step on how to just
Yeah.
cheat the system. And I'm like,
Right. So you don't end up
man,
homeless.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you need prior authorization on a life-saving procedure that they're going to do when they bring you into the ER.
it's
That's an automatic denial, and
yeah.
people just get too burnt out, even not knowing what to do with that. The billing
Oh
system
my
is like
God.
scary.
Like
Oh my
medical
God.
shouldn't even can like go against your credit health.
It
You
It
doesn't
know?
right now,
shouldn't.
luckily. It doesn't right now
Oh,
due to
good.
COVID.
Good.
I don't think they've still reverted it. It's gonna affect your credit.
Gosh, I hope they don't. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You
I
know
Yeah.
it
mean, it
does
affects
affect
so
your
many people
credit.
already. Oof, it's terrible.
You know it does affect your credit.
What does?
Child support.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I got
yeah.
Oh
one that
yeah.
says
My
my
wife is
partner
trying
almost
to
lost
hit
their
me with
job
that.
because of my seizures. My body has kicked up a notch and has me seizing multiple times a day some days. I've had 3 this morning alone. My partner tried to call off to be here, and in worst case scenario, when they got this job, they made it very clear their partner has seizures frequently. They were told they can work with that, no biggie. Well, today when they called off, they were threatened their job over the phone. Now I am home alone after pleading with him to go to work, telling them I will be okay. We need a steady income. I had one before they went to work, and I've had 2 more since they left this morning. Thankfully, I came out of it okay. I'm exhausted, but at least I'm coherent. I just need to vent.
Keep
Thanks
figuring
for
out the
listening to the
medication
ramblings of a mad epileptic.
and
That's not
figure out
rambling.
your
So I mean,
medication. No, you're
if the
having
breadwinner is saying they're going to lose their job, there might just be some deeper issues. I'm
yeah.
not assuming everybody's a deadbeat, but I know my ex tried to almost like blame his job loss on me when he didn't provide the transport to the hospital. I was accompanied, and like we had childcare there. I don't know, that one might be some deeper issues.
No, I mean make it clear to him that like the job is more important, like really. And another
Long
thing is
term.
you're having 5 seizures before lunchtime. Like you need to figure out different medication.
Yeah.
And that's just like You shouldn't be having that many seizures every day.
No, it's time to contact your doctor for sure.
Yeah.
My seizures started switching, and I was working in a warehouse. So my family sat me down and said, "This is getting too dangerous, and I don't think you can do this no more."
Mm-hmm.
And me, I still wanted to do it. It's like,
Hmm.
even though I've been going, this was my third time going on medical leave,
Yeah.
like real quick, you know? And it's like a time where you gotta say, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's like your mind is not agreeing with your body.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's,
Accepting the truth.
I didn't want to stop. I loved my job. I didn't want to stop, and we had to, and that's just it. But
I
yeah,
just love the feeling of actually being able to provide. Now I feel like,
yeah,
what is Social
Yeah.
Security really going to ever do?
Yeah.
I know.
And I will say one thing, just coming from like a
I
hopeful law
mean,
person eventually. It depending on the state you're in, if you do have it in writing that they said they can accommodate with a spouse with epilepsy and they're threatening your job, they're not allowed to do that. So
Yeah,
just depending on the state you're in, like,
I would
and I
say
know it's a
if they put it in the
long shot, but
contract, but
yeah,
I don't
but
know if they did
exactly, it's a
because
long
I worked in
shot, but
HR, so I know if they put it in the contract,
uh,
you
they
got to
probably
abide
wouldn't
by
put
it.
it in the contract to begin with, just for that reason. They might verbally say one thing and just not put it in the
Hmm.
contract. But
Right. Yeah.
again,
I
that's
It's
know
why
I
we
a
left
need more
Union.
tough
workers'
position to
rights,
be in.
workers' protection.
all I know is I left on because I ran out of FMLA. I'm
Um,
still, if I wanted to go, like, if I'm, you know, great again, I can go back to the job. I won't get my seniority back or anything, but,
Yeah.
my job offered me FMLA, and I'm worried. I just don't want to put me in a box in a company where I can't move up any further in something, or I'm
Mhm.
on a
yeah.
short leash or something due to it. I just, yeah.
It's a tough position to be in.
And it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said, how can you tell the bad memory is coming from the medicine, or is it mostly from the epilepsy? I often read people here saying how badly medicine is affecting their memory, but I find it hard to imagine being so sure that the bad memory is coming from the medicine and not just mostly from the epilepsy. I've tried several medications over the years, none have worked, and my memory has gotten worse and worse. It feels like the big impact for me has been the seizures, not the meds. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. I think it's good.
I would agree with the seizures and not the meds because, I mean, what do you think it is? It's like depends on where that short circuit happens and something might get wiped out.
Yeah.
Think about like
Yeah.
clearing the cache and the in your browser. Like,
I
The
feel
reason I
like,
say the pills, because I know like a few people who were like at least a year or two, up to 6 and 7 years free, and all they have in common is taking the pills with us, and they're not having seizures.
right?
That's
But
what someone told me. He was like, I think it's the pills because I'm not having seizures, but I'm taking the same pills as you guys. He was like, my
And
memory is
still
progressively
having,
worse.
well, maybe it's the
Pills.
severity of the memory problems. Because, like, I know when I have a 45-minute long seizure, and then if I have one like that, it's going to be like another one is going to happen, and another one, and another one, and it could be like 3 days long of that stuff. That's going to wipe out maybe years of my memory. And I can't,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my husband reminds me of stuff and he gets really upset. And I'm like, I don't, it's not that I
I'm
forgot,
sorry.
honey. You know I had a great memory, but geez,
I've
something just went zip.
I've had it explained where it's like, imagine a kitchen, you're cooking everything, and everyone just goes home, like doesn't clean up anything, just walks out. Imagine coming back in the morning, something's going to be lost. Something's not going to be where it should be. You're not going to be able to find it. And that's kind of how the seizure is. Like your brain is in a jumbled mess,
It zaps
kind of
out.
shuts off, zaps out, and you come back to to a a messy kitchen and you can't figure out where everything is. You forget where you left stuff because you didn't put it away.
Yeah.
And that's how I've had it
Yeah.
described to me.
I mean, not that the meds don't affect it. Of course they do, but I mean,
Yeah.
They
Oh
do.
no. I think
I
it's a
mean
mixture,
that post
Especially the
100%.
more we don't know what the meds are doing at the
was that
time.
post trying to
Like
Yeah.
describe them actually like
they,
developing bad memories though, or was that post
there's side
insinuating
effects
that they're just
that
losing their
are coming up
memory?
all the time.
yeah, those are. Well, I developed a bad memory. I mean, like I said before, I had a steel trap, and then it was gone, just gone.
Mine too.
It couldn't have
I
just
think
gone from just one pill. It went all kind of at once, and then maybe I lose more, but the big one,
And
was the
that's
big 2 grand miles I had.
I lean
That's why I
towards the
say
pills.
my
like I
memory
was
is
telling
it's
you.
like that's why I say my memory is like a file cabinet. It's like I can remember stuff every now and then, and like the files are in there, but they're everywhere and they're all mixed up.
Yeah.
I'm
Lost
trying to
the
find
key.
that memory and just going for days remembering, and finally I'll remember it and say, "Hold on, this is why I was talking to you the other day." I remember now.
Exactly.
That can
Found that
happen.
file. It was in
The
the
phone
second
rings,
drawer
and
in
by the
this
time the
folder.
voicemail picks up, you don't even remember what message to leave.
Right, who you were calling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then it's like
Yeah.
I have those files that are all correct there in my long term memory that I just remember every day, every moment of it, I can remember. So those would be the
Yeah.
files that are correctly put into place. I have those. I can go look for old memory and remember something. Oh yeah, my grandma did this on this and this day.
Mm-hmm.
But short term, those files are all over the floor in the room,
Mhm.
cabinets upside down.
Yep.
I
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
I lean towards the pills a little bit just because I've had so many grand malls now. I've hit my head so many times having seizures at this point that I feel like I should have some memory loss, but I don't. Thank God. And maybe it's because I'm young still. Maybe
That's
unfortunately I
great.
will develop it pretty soon. But
Maybe it's because you
at
never
the,
took your pills.
I'm taking them now. I'm taking my pills now. I
Yeah, but
promise.
you're not all the way up to full dosage yet. It takes a
Exactly,
while to
and
get
that's
up to
the
your
thing.
bloodstream.
And that's
Exactly. I
why
was gonna
I
say they send you to a blood test. The lab might not even show half of the expected dose.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm here twice.
Always. It's always like
I'm
work up to it.
partial. I'm partial with more leaning to the seizures because who knows what the seizures are actually like messing up in our head, you know? Like
Yeah.
the doctors don't even know.
I
But
guess, yeah,
like
right?
I've hit concrete so
Mhm.
many times. I hit, like I said, I had some in high school and I hit my head against and I'm pretty sure, all of us older people remember those high school desks
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in school. And I
Mm-hmm.
hit my head against those
Oh.
and I hit my head against the store. I hit my head. I don't even know what I hit my head on, but I know I had one leaving the shower, hitting, getting, I don't know what, but I hit mine on so many, and like we don't know if I might have had concussions on
Yep.
some of those seizures that I should have gone to the hospital for,
Right.
or just because they were under 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's um, it's it's a mind trap. It's it's like we don't know what the seizures are actually doing, but the pills are definitely doing something.
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And why the
and
fuck
they're
do I
messing with chemical
I can't fight
imbalances.
that idea of like, yes, these pills are helping, but is it because I've become dependent on them?
Mm.
I don't want to become dependent on pills, and that's why, like for my primary care doctor, I was definitely looking for a DO instead of a DR.
Mhm.
Okay.
What really quickly, just with the head injury, why the fuck do I have to either risk a TBI, brain bleed, skull fracture, or $5,000? Like that's what we have to deal with. Like when we have a seizure and we hit our head,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I leave it up to the people around me to make that decision, make either one of the biggest financial decisions of my life
Yeah.
or risk me having a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
And how is that fair
Yeah.
at all?
Not.
Like,
It's not. It's not.
fuck our healthcare system completely.
Not fair,
And
not logical, not far from necessary.
incredibly
It's
unnecessary.
way out of whack.
It,
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I personally agree. Like the United States health system is really fucked up.
Aw. Hey, little guy.
You know?
Is that your epileptic support dog?
Sort of.
Sort of.
He feels like it.
Yeah, not quite
Yeah.
trained, but
He's not really
trained
trained.
well.
Yeah, no, he's a Chiweenie. He's half
He's your little
Dachshund,
hero.
half Chihuahua.
Yeah, my
He thinks
my
you
my
guys are
German
behind the
Shepherd,
screen. He keeps looking back there to see where
Yes.
you're at.
my
Puppy does the
German
same
Shepherd.
thing.
I left him with my wife and kids because I felt that was like he was the protector.
Yeah,
And since I wasn't there,
Right.
someone had to be. It's
it's
kind of
like,
like you in spirit.
look, I'm
Right.
gonna need him there,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like seeing Katie's dog and remembering how he acted with me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if he was a natural seizure dog for me
Right. Yeah,
because
I
it
mean
was like an
that's
instant connection with him.
yeah. Banksy
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
kind of
don't a
does.
lot of dogs, they say, have that? They like imprint or whatever. I don't know what the term is.
Mm-hmm.
So many trainers describe it differently, but yeah, it's basically like imprint or forming a connection. It's not just dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, all
Good God,
animals, yeah.
horses.
Mm-hmm.
People are literally
Cats.
like
I mean,
horses live
horses
as
are
long
just
as
bigger
people,
dogs.
and they really do like form a connection. Some people like, especially now that we're going to that like Tennessee, Kentucky area. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's a big thing up there, and it is
yeah.
undisputed fact that like horses have souls.
Oh yeah, there's emotional support horses and stuff you can
Oh
get.
Oh, I
yeah.
Like,
believe
yeah.
all animals have soul.
Yeah.
I'm not a cat person, but
Hey, hey,
But we
Clementine, you hear
know
that?
that
Clementine.
Canned Tuna
I'm not
Lips has a
rude to
wonderful cat.
animals.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Clementine on the line
I'm not
here.
rude to animals.
Yeah, of course, we know Clementine is wonderful. She
Yeah.
comes up and says hi a lot.